So, hey, how you doing? Welcome to day 12 of my cancer journey. Today was an interesting one because if you've been following, I was discharged yesterday, but had a follow-up appointment today. So, came home, got hours of rest, got straight 8 hours of sleep, which never happens in a hospital ever, and went back for what was supposed to be a small appointment, but it was complicated. Since it was my first appointment, there's all sorts of things to arrange and get started and orientation, basically. My intro to the fifth floor, which is where the clinic is, as opposed to the fourth floor, which is where the inpatient unit is. Um, Between the drive and getting drawn and all that kind of stuff, I started to fade. I don't know what it's like to be diabetic, but this feels like what diabetes would feel like. Your sugar falls out and you just kind of fade out along with it. Thankfully, some extremely well timed juice and, okay, they were really bad cookies, but if a bad cookie keeps you alive, it's a good cookie. So they're good cookies. Brought me back around again. So got through it all right, got through the appointment, got home, and then everything, and it's cold and dreary, so that doesn't help because very temperature sensitive now. I basically have to dress for wintertime regardless, and I notice everybody there was in the exact same position as me, so it kind of made sense. um there were there was good news and bad news. Platelets good, hemoglobin good, and it took a lot of work to get those things up there, so that part's good. My white blood cells and my immune system are still a complete wasteland. I have a feeling I could be taken out by an infected hangnail at this point, and I'm not sure I'm exaggerating. Um, so that's an issue. And, they were very careful to say that my numbers are going to go up and down. So liver numbers are going to go up, good numbers are going to go down. There's a lot of turbulence that happens before there's some stabilization. Um, we made the appointments for next week. Originally, it was Wednesday, Friday. Now it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I think the purpose of Monday is to make sure I survive Wednesday and Friday. They're watching the platelets and they're watching the hemoglobin. That's apparently the fuel. Again, don't confuse me with a doctor. I just got here. I just got here a couple weeks ago. Not even. So Monday is sort of the checkup for the big week. Wednesday is the big day. That's going to be a big day. I think it's a spinal day. And then Friday as well. I still don't have my port. We're still playing with that. Hopefully that's the end of next week because it still sucks getting drawn. My veins have not recovered from all the time I've been hit. So the commute home was okay. I kind of dissociate. My reaction time is terrible. So I don't think I could make that drive if I had to. So fortunately, again, my wife, who is running the show and running it well, took care of that. Let's put that on her job description, which is all other duties is assigned because I feel like I'm basically a 235-pound infant at this point in time. That's really how it feels. Um, Came home and got tons of rest, went right to sleep. Little minor heat spike, probably from fatigue. Fought that one off fine. And then when we got around to the evening, finally was able to, I don't want to say give, but Paige was able to have some downtime, spend some time with the horse, which is what fuels her soul and keeps her well and probably makes everything else possible. So she got a couple hours, and we made an arrangement where I was afraid to reach out to her because I automatically assumed that reaching out to her means something bad. But she gets nervous if she doesn't hear from me. So we instituted a policy where once an hour I just check in. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And of course, if I'm not fine, say so. But we're doing the hour. I'm fine. I don't know if that works for everybody, but that's something that we did. And if it alleviates her anxiety, we're doing it. That's the short version of that. also this evening, the unhappy task of reaching out to, I don't want to call them stragglers, but they're people that haven't heard, people that aren't in my normal modes of communication or social media, old former bandmates, former coworkers. I mean, people that I've been extremely close to, but don't have that direct line to now. So I was making calls, and man, are these shitty calls to make. I mean, hey, how you been? Yeah, good to hear. It's great, man. How's the new musical project going? Yeah, 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 yeah. Me? Yeah, I'm one day out of the hospital with leukemia, and I'm in chemo now. There's just no way to candy coat that. You try to deliver it directly but delicately, but it's hard. And it's like you're aware you're ruining somebody's day with your own crappy health, which is awful. So spoke to an old bandmate and fellow Raider fan. Where is that? And broke the bad news to him. And of course, everybody's very encouraging, and everybody like gets right on the hopes and prayers thing, and what can we do, and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's heart's in the right place, and they put it together pretty quick, uh, which I'm grateful for. Um, an old supervisor of mine, actually my first supervisor with the university, I told her, and right before all of this, we had made all sorts of plans. We were gonna, work with families and put material together and help. Um, One of my big areas of specialty is working with families that have a mentally ill or addicted adult family member. Mental illness, like cancer, is devastating to a family, and there's very little guidance and very little information that people can get. How do you help without enabling? It's a video on my YouTube channel. Um, and how do you take care of yourself while in the maelstrom of mental illness and addiction, which I'll put right up there with the maelstrom of cancer. Again, far less experience, and I don't mean to denigrate any of those experiences, but boy, they will blow the mast right off of your ship, any of those. And mental illness and addiction have a stigma that cancer doesn't have. When you tell somebody you have cancer, it's like, oh my God, and they're ready to like bake you lasagna. If I said, "Oh yeah, well I have bipolar disorder," it gets more complicated. Their heart still goes out to you, and their heart's in the right place, but there's this layer. There's this stigmatized layer. So, um, a reminder of projects unstarted and unfinished, both musically and uh, clinically. Which again, the more reasons to get well. More reasons to get well. I was kidding with a friend of mine today. I saw a news story where somebody had undergone 35 chemo treatments so that they could attend the Broad Street Run in Philly this weekend. And we were talking about how many that was, because I have a whole new respect for 35 chemo treatments than I had a couple weeks ago. And then I was like, well, would I have 35 chemo treatments to gig again? Now, I wouldn't do 35 chemo treatments for a marathon. No, that's not what it, but to gig again, just to play a terrible bar gig playing Tom Petty covers. Uh, you know, yeah, I could, I could, I could see that. I'd be willing to put it up for that. Which shows you how sick I am, but it also shows you how serious I am and how much I love music. I mean, there are a few things better. Um, so still have work projects and things to do. So my wife got some precious downtime for herself. And then we managed to sit and watch some TV, which is, under the circumstances, one of those petty pleasures now. We're watching some current shows, Ted Lasso and Yellowstone and things like that. And they're a lot of fun to watch. Of course, interesting to watch where the protagonist has cancer. Um, it's not hitting me anywhere funny. I just kind of catch myself nodding a lot. I have a lot more in common with the character than I thought I did, and I've always been a Kevin Costner fan. that one comes easy. I love 99% of what he's done, and I probably missed the 1%. The only other piece is I got a really nice bump. I don't even know how to show it. A really nice bump when they put the thing in me today, and it's still swollen and it's still hard. And I do not know if my body has what it needs to reabsorb it and to get rid of it. We're going to find out overnight. It's either going to be better tomorrow and we're going to roll, or we're going to have to make a phone call. It definitely happened at the hospital, and I was probably guilty of letting it go all night. It hurt and it was wrapped, and I just left it be. I probably should have iced it or something sooner than that, but I'm hesitant. So anyway, there's all those things going on. So next week is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the clinic, but I get a weekend off. So the weekend is going to be all about recoup and rest, and maybe even catch up on some little odds and ends. I have some stuff just in my little personal space here that I need to fix, and I have some school stuff that I need to fix. I have little things. So we're going to do the nice little slow balance, get something done, rest, get something done, rest, and ease our way through the day. Health being first, the fight being first, and everything else being a distant second. So, and I should probably put some time in on my spirituality as well. I haven't I haven't been tested in that area, but it's a bad idea to wait until the test happens. Practice is meant to be practice. Anyway, there's probably a lot of rambling going on there, but it was a fairly eventful day. Hopefully, the weekend will be far less eventful and far more filled with rest, even though it's supposed to be cold, dreary, and terrible. An awful end of April, beginning of May, weather-wise. But I think that's all I've got. So I will bid you good night. I will see you tomorrow. We'll do this again. And till then, thanks for coming along on the journey with me. Good night.